How are you? Boo Gyeong again. Last time we covered Mr. President Donald Trump steering the wheel of Mr. Xi Jinping's fortune. And on that video, YouTube video, we talked about the Taeksanham Gwe as a whole and briefly covered the literature and translate and interpret the contents of the Gwe Sa, which is hexagram scriptures. Today I'm following up with the previous version, and this is the new topic. Mr. President Donald Trump does not drive all, but rather aggressively want to consider some circumstances inclusive, tune humbly to their needs, and thereby call for his and their goals united. 지제수인 소집이하야, revealed by Confucius on the Book of the Change. This is the English interpretation as I look into the Book of the Change, under which 31st hexagram, which is Taeksanham Gwe. As I previously covered, there was a original Boki Gweesang, which is a hexagram picture, and there was 6 lines starting from the bottom to the top, altogether 6 lines. And today I would like to share with you that the bottom line and then the second line and then the third line, as a kind of a brief summary, I would like to read you the passages as you see on the screen. Confucius therefore discloses how the nature of the worldly business matters could be observed as a ground supporting for the art of the deal. To add such a feedback in order for Mr. Trump as to contemplate the innate sentiment of getting moved between yang and young boy and younger, and all beings under heaven and on earth, including their parents themselves, heaven and earth. Boo Gyeong would like to interpret their interacting secrecy of the pairs, typical but different to each other, such that the young boy may fall in love with the younger. However, he rather might stay put before and under her only with the implicit look in his eyes, expecting her resonance to reflect impressed, to express her feeling, her tender song. I'm sorry, I meant to say to express her feeling, to sing her tender song, a welcoming sign. Confucius added his advice to Mr. Trump, the great man, to direct the use of pure integrity inherent in the couple of boy and a girl to spread over and apply to the world. As you can see, the hexagram in the table, square table, it is depicted for Taeksanham Gwe, 31st hexagram out of 64 total. The top is a Tewi tag representing the lake or the third girl. The bottom representing the mountain or the third boy. Combining the two, making teksan 함께. Today we start from the bottom line, line 1. We call it 6 at the beginning, 초6. That is no at the bottom line. No is expressed as the old meaning negative or minus, or tender or weak, as you might say, the female. And I like to read it to you as interpreted line by line. Actually, as you see, Gyeong, Duke of Ju, is the son of the king literature, Munwang. He recognizes President Trump's tariffs on Chinese goods as Mr. President has stimulated President Xi in his big toes. Confucius then understands that Mr. Trump intends to go upwards both for his supporters and against the opponents. In short, the first line at the bottom signifies Mr. Trump impresses Mr. Xi Jinping in his big toes, so that coming upwards towards the end of the business. And we'll see line by line going upward and what is coming up. As you can see in line number 2, 6 in the second place. This is another teksan hexagram. As you can see, line number 2, 6 in the second place. Yugi, Noum in the second place. The same Duke of Ju recognizes Duke of Ju on the next stage informs Mr. Trump of retaliating policy, as Mr. Xi's sensation on his calves of legs would be unfortunate unless hurted, if not all the way upward, the whole body. Then Confucius advises Mr. Xi and his supporters to flow in their gentle and slow process, otherwise unfortunate, but then fortunate only if they stay put. This line 2 implicates that as a responding to Mr. Trump's tariffs on Chinese goods, Mr. Xi Jinping responded with retaliating tax tariffs, so that it's just a kind of a ping pong game. So we'll be able to see and further notice what is going to be the third step. In other words, we'll see one by one, but today I like to focus on the line number 3, which places Mr. Trump. This is the position where Mr. Trump is in the hexagram, as opposed to line number 6, placing Mr. Xi. Line 3 is 9 in the third place, Kusam, Noyang in the third place. Duke of Ju on the third stage advises Mr. Trump to take time to call everybody's attention to join to go further up, since he might face tough situation in need of support, as he was influenced up to his upper legs. That also is not yet coming all the way upward. Going on to say, Confucius recognizes that Mr. Trump, as the world leader, would not fold his arms, but rather aggressively want to check out surrounding circumstances, tune humbly to their needs, 지제수인, and thereby call for his and their goals united. 소지비하야. Boo Gyeong will follow up with the recommendation as well as the outlook, which has already been scripted in detail in terms of a so-called 5W1H onto 64 bits hexagrams generated out of a fractal generated out of a fractal algorithm going on further. Thank you for watching.